the one thing I just need to say over and over and over again. Please cover your tush and your The world does not need to see this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Silver and Sensational. I am Lois, as in Lois Mills, the I, and I welcome you and thank you for tuning in. Today is going to be a little different than what I've been doing because I'm going to talk about having classic clothing in your wardrobe. What is this all about? It really is having pieces that are of good quality, classic colors, which are the basic colors, classic styles that never are in or out of style. I like to have these clothes to be of the best quality I could possibly afford. And then the other clothing, the fun, this year's in thing, I generally like to not spend very much money on because it's, they're 1 or 2 season items. So let's start it. This is a skirt I bought on my honeymoon in 1978. It was in Italy, and it is still to this day in perfect condition. It's black cashmere with black leather trim. I got it at Gucci in Rome. I can remember buying it as though it was yesterday. So classic. It's wonderful with the pair of boots. I know the black doesn't show up particularly well on screen, but you can see how classic this is. It's simply an overskirt with the underskirt. It's absolutely, the fabric is so luscious. It's so soft and wonderful. And as I say, 1978, we're talking about almost 44 years, let's call it almost 50 years old. Still classic, can't tell what year it was bought in. This is one of those items that I have mentioned in terms of they never ever go out of style. You need to have a pencil skirt. This is absolutely a must. This happens to be, a stretchy knit, and it's again, a forever thing. You can wear it today. You could have worn it 20 years ago. You could wear it 20 years from now. So pencil skirt is also something that is great. This is wonderful with any kind of shoe. If you like a little flat, it's cute with that. If you want it sophisticated up a bit, a high heel, sheer dark hose, no hose, you name it, it works. And it goes anywhere. You can dress this up with the dressy top or the classic white shirt. Button down. For me, I have at least 3 of these, and it's something I love. I have my favorite, actually, is Vince or Cezanne from Paris. Fabrics are great. With white shirts, they do need some attention to laundering. So you may need to replace these more often because any white cotton or linen, after a while, is going to get sort of yellowish, dingy looking. So I do tend to soak them in like OxyClean to make them brighter, but they only last so long. So this is an item that you're going to replace more often than not. It's something that I say you can do it across the board. Anne Fontaine is just known for her white shirts, as classic as this button down to ruffled, and she does do just beautiful shirts, and I recommend you go online and take a look-see because they will take you far and wide. You have plenty to choose from. Or you could just go right down to somebody like J. Crew. So again, you have, when it comes to shirts, you do have a wide range of price points. So whatever you're comfortable with, that's what you should do. But do have at least one of these classic button-downs that look great with or without jewelry. Roll up the sleeve, keep the sleeve with the cuff. It all depends on what your mood is and where you're going, what you're doing. This is a skirt I adore. It's an accordion pleated charcoal gray wool skirt. And let me tell you, this takes you everywhere. With a flat boot, with a high-heeled boot, with trainers. I mean, you can wear this with anything, a sweater, a blouse, a t-shirt. It's a very feminine yet serious. It's not foo-foo. It's really just a wonderful piece to have in your wardrobe. Now, if you don't have the body for the accordion pleats, you can always find skirts that have either box pleats or they're A-line or they're something that is not as tight-fitting. And it's just, for me, I love a pleated skirt. I think most of us do. And they're a find. If you find one, buy it and keep it forever. This one's about 25 years old. Pants. Well, here's a pair of old Chanel, and I do mean old. These are from 1982, 83, somewhere around there. They are wide leg. Again, I don't care what the style is. This sailor type pant never goes out of style. So I have a sailor type pant in cream, and I have it in navy blue, and obviously a good trouser in a classic color. And this is one I would say I would do a wide leg and a boot leg in a trouser in, again, the best quality you can possibly find. There is a difference in the way the pant drapes, and it's important to have them tailored well. They must fit well. There's such a thing as a tailor. If the store where you're buying it doesn't offer alterations, then become friends with a local tailor. It's not only for hemming or dropping the hem for you tall girls. For me, everything has to be hemmed, but also to make it fit across the back so that the tush looks good, a dark color and a light color, and you're in business. And again, you can keep them for years. Skinnies, I always say, if you want skinny, wear a pair of tights with a oversized sweater that covers your tush and a pair of boots. And I would not spend the money on a pair of tight-legged and very narrow pants because they generally don't have a very classic look. Save that look for jeans, denims, if you have the body for them. But if you want, I know a lot of girls are wearing tights, which, believe me, I love because they're so comfortable. Of course, one of the caveats is, you can't tell you're gaining weight when you're wearing tights. I'll give you a little story. Back when I moved to Palm Beach and I met Frank there, and I started going back and forth with him to Augusta, Georgia, where there's a different way of eating. So I was eating all this fried food, and I never in my life, I could pretty much eat what I wanted to and never really gain weight. Well, my God in heaven, I gained 20 pounds. I've never gained 10 pounds, much less 20 pounds. I never noticed because I was always wearing tights. So, they stretch with you. Well, it took me a while, but I sure took off those 20 pounds, but it also taught me, don't get too comfortable in those, ladies, without getting on a scale, because it will make a difference. So the way I like to wear tights is, as I said before, I have I have at least a half a dozen because they date back to the 80s. Black turtleneck sweaters that cover the tush. The one thing I just need to say over and over and over again, please cover your tush and your camel toe. The world does not need to see this. I find it so, even you young girls, it's just, if you want that classy look that you've been writing me, how do I achieve it? Having your tush and your camel toe show in your tights is not a classy whether it's a sweatshirt, tunic blouse, or a sweater, at least cover the tush and the camel toe. So that is my lecture on that. So I'm a big fan of blazers because I like the clean look, tailored look, and the classic look. You can't go wrong with having a couple of blazers in your wardrobe. I do tend to like double-breasted. I think for me it's slimming. This one is a Gucci that I bought this is late 80s, early 90s. It's navy blue gabardine. It has a bit of a shoulder. It gives you a very trim, sophisticated, classic look. Here's what you can do. You can wear it over a t-shirt, a collared blouse, a camisole, over a turtleneck sweater, any kind of top, as long as it's not bulky. It works very well with the blazer and gives you a finished look. What I am trying to get across today is to stay with things that are forevers and take your budget and put as much as you can towards these kind of items that you end up with the cost per wear to be next to nothing. These things are over 40 years old. So whatever I paid for them back in the 80s, to say I got my money's worth is an understatement. You know, we all have just a certain amount of money to spend. Believe me, I'm a Zara lover, crazy about the store. They do great items, but they're throwaway fashion. So I don't spend a lot of my money on things from Zara, which, you know, of course, they're very well priced. But I buy those items sparingly. And I actually, at this point in my life, I need to replace a pair of black pants. Other than that, I keep wearing all these clothes from years ago. And so I will invest in a good pair of black trousers. When you have a few extra pennies, it's worth it to buy a nice cashmere sweater. Now, there are lots of people out there that are doing cashmere sweaters at a very reasonable price, a very reasonable. You know, if I'm looking for something, I always look at sweaters. I always look at the fabric content. I will only buy wool, cotton, or cashmere. I will not buy any acrylic, any of that, because they simply don't last. And even if you're only spending, you know, you're still spending $40, $50, $60. With some of the people out there today, you know, for another $20, $30, I'm not sure what Uniqlo at this point is selling their cashmere sweaters for, but I know they were always very reasonable. Now, are they the best quality? I'm going to tell you no. They will tend to pill a lot more than better quality ones, but, you know, truth be told, you just need to maintain them a little more. You know, many of the stores like Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom's, they do their private label cashmeres, and they do great colors and styles. They've got styles galore, from, you know, cardigans to tunics. J. Crew does, you know, beautiful, not very expensive cashmere sweaters. Land's End is also another place that does cashmere sweaters. So what I am telling you is I would invest in the following. You have your cashmere sweaters or even wool sweaters. What you need to do is buy a bottle of no rinse soap. This is perfect for washing because you will need to hand launder your sweaters. So with the no rinse, you know there's no soap left in it, so you're not stuck with the wringing, and it's wonderful. If I were doing this the first time before you wash your sweater, I would take a piece of either wallpaper, cardboard, whatever you have, and trace your sweater on this. That's just so you can block it to be the same size. So you wash it, don't wring it, put it in a towel and roll the towel to squeeze out as much moisture as you can. Then you take your cardboard or paper and you put your sweater on top of it and you make sure your sweater, shoulders, sleeves, body, and length all match what it was when it was dry and new. When you feel the top of it feeling pretty dry, get a new towel or a dry towel and turn it over. And then the other thing you will need is a defuzzer. And all of this stuff is available on Amazon. So you get a defuzzer, works by battery, and you get all of the pilling off. This is a way of keeping your sweaters looking fresh, and they do last. Then the moths in my closet have only found the very best of what I own. They have a very high level taste. I have found little tiny holes. There are wonderful YouTube channels that will show you how to mend. It's really quite simple. Take a look. If you can handle a needle and thread, you can fix these holes yourself. So on that note, I hope I've given you a little taste of what I think classic clothes are and why I recommend spending money on those things that will last you many years because they're not a fad, spending less money on the fad and trendy things, and a little bit of a tutorial on how to maintain them. So on that note, again, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and please go down into our description box and click on the link that takes you directly to our blog. And of course, I love the comments you've been making, so please continue to comment. Do hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And for those of you who aren't used to subscribing, let me tell you, it doesn't cost you anything. No one's going to bother you. There's no list that, you get bugged about, but it does help our channel. And then, of course, I'd like you to press the notification button so that you know when we drop, which is usually midnight Central Time on Fridays. And of course, share us with all your friends, family, and just your general contacts. So in the meantime, I wish you all well, and thank you again for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you. God bless. Bye now.